Hey, it's your boy Maas Reacta, and I'm back. And we gonna try this Maas Reacts thing one more time. But I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna give people a few seconds to get in here because I'm gonna need feedback because if if the sound does not work this time, then I'm gonna have to do some deep digging. Some deep digging. I'm gonna have to do some deep digging on this to see why it won't play. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna give everybody. I'm gonna give people a couple minutes to get in here. I don't know if anyone is in here yet. I don't know, but soon as somebody gets in here, we'll get started. We'll get started. We will get started. And once again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I'm trying some new stuff. Just trying some new things, and whenever you try some new stuff, things are gonna happen. Things are gonna happen. So I'm gonna wait a couple minutes. Give some people time to get in here. And then once y'all get in here, we'll begin. But yeah, this video is about mermaids. Do you believe in mermaids? That's the first question is, do you believe in mermaids? Now, if you do believe in mermaids, this is then this is just going to open you up to more information that you need to research. Um, if you don't believe in mermaids, maybe this will be a cause for you to do more research, to gather information and make a further assessment. I'm not going to say what I think, but hopefully after you watch this list of videos that I have compiled, you have a better understanding, or you have a better understanding to say that yes, I believe in mermaids, or you'll have a better understanding to say no, I don't believe in mermaids. But I'm just hoping that the videos, you will be able to hear them because the information that you hear is going to be mind blowing. It took me some time and the reason that I'm doing this again is because it took me some time to compile these videos. It's not like you just go on there and you got to look at the videos and see what's good, what's not. And yeah, we gonna see what's what. Shouts out to everybody if you're tuning in on Facebook, if you're tuning in on X, if you're tuning in on Rumble, Instagram, Africa TV, and most definitely right here on YouTube. So, like I said, I'm gonna give a couple more minutes. I'm gonna give some people time to come in here. I just ended the live about 10 minutes ago. I said I would be back in 15 minutes. Give those people time to get back in here. Then we're gonna get started. But yeah, I'm gonna need participation because if you all cannot hear this video, there's no benefit for me to go through this 40 minutes and you don't have the ability to hear what's going on. So I'm gonna wait a couple minutes. I'm gonna give some people time to get in here. Matter of fact, hold on. Yeah, need y'all to come on and get in here so we can watch these mermaids. Yeah. Once I get a couple people in here. We're gonna kick this video off. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna need some feedback because if we can't hear the video, it ain't no reason for me to play it. So okay, we got YWG in here. We're gonna go ahead and get started. YWG, man, I need you to let me know if you can hear the video. If not, then yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But here we go.
Everyone is scared of the mermaid. Yeah. Because it's a god of the realm. And he thinks the mermaid will get angry and will come after his family. So he doesn't want to talk about it.
Okay, cool. We're going to roll with it.
When they are washing the river, we'll take it.
Take the family in the water?
Yeah, no, yeah.
The mermaids comes, they think anyone that is eaten by the mermaid is cursed. This thing specifically takes the tongue and the belly button.
Do they find bodies like this?
Yes. Okay. Good question. We're gonna record this. And there is a small island where the Rayleigh tribe clan lives, and it's full of trees. That's the location where the mermaid of the day is found.
And we just out here. We're chilling. Out here chilling. I hear it. I hear him. Where's she at? What the fuck is that noise, bro? What is that noise? Where are you?
Is it loud enough?
This is crazy. I heard it. I heard it. I hear it. Oh my god. That's crazy. That's nuts. That's crazy. What this is.
So you think it's like a dry motherfucking fish?
No.
Bro, it's something. This is no, it's like perfectly correct.
I don't know what the fuck this is.
Now it's believed this looks
We're going to talk about the finer points of eating mermaids. If you find this morally
This
offensive,
right here
it's right.
is crazy.
I'm not even sure what
Just
that
listen
involves.
to this.
Is this cannibalism? Is it pescatarianism? Is it cannibalistic pescatarianism? There's a lot of syllables. Mermaids are generally regarded as half human, half fish, but we need to decide whether or not they're warm-blooded or cold-blooded. In this diagram of Ariel, they have fallen firmly on the side of warm-blooded because of the presence of mammary glands, lungs, and what appears to be a four-chambered heart. The reproductive system has maybe thankfully been omitted because we at least don't have to cross the bridge as to whether or not you could get caviar out of Ariel. But to bring us right back around to morally questionable, she does have a liver, so if we force-fed her, we could potentially get some mermaid faux gras. An odd thing happened while I was looking for these images. A lot of mermaid anatomical diagrams fall on the side of them being mammals, like air breathers. This would mean that we could infer that they would have behaviors similar to like whales or dolphins, orcas, stuff like that. This one made me oddly happy because they included gills and a more conservative, what looks like a more conservative two-chamber heart. So depending on the flavor profile that you're looking for, when you're hunting mermaids, you're going to want the ones with gills if you're looking for that fishy nuance. On the flip side, if you want the more meaty, full-flavored version, you're going to have an air breather. However, a word of warning, because of the presence of the lungs, this is also the version that would likely be able to siren sing you to your own demise. Across the internet, dare I say universally, the best part for eating of the fish is going to be the collar and the cheeks, basically that comma area. That consensus quickly degrades once you get to the back, abdomen, and tail meat. Everything just goes over all of that. So I don't know which one is actually best. But it seems when you're consuming mermaids, you're pretty much confined to the tail meat. Maybe a little bit of like abdominal meat. And of course, questionable caviar.
Which I'll
If we
say
flip
about
this
that.
around and move away from the pescatarian side of things and go more toward the cannibal side of things, we're actually left with better cuts of meat because you're going to have access to the loin and the ribs. It seems like if you're a big fan of surf and turf, then mermaids might be the perfect mealtime opportunity for you. I mean, you're going to have to compromise a little bit because you're stuck with tail meat, but to boost it, you might get some awesome caviar, and on top, you're going to get like premium cuts. So all in all, possibly a good meal.
Theory going around with the Hollywood celebrities that they're eating mermaid. Another fisherman, he caught something that made his whole boat turn pale. And when he reeled it in, it was like a 5-foot human-looking person with like gray and fins all over and gills all over her face, right? And he exposed it. He said, "Oh, this is crazy because a lot of fish markets label them under exotic, right? So those exotic fish markets specifically look for mermaid because those go for the most. Because who's buying it? The millionaires in Hollywood." Guy allegedly came out and he said, "Oh, I was invited to like some celebrity A-list party, and guess what they fed me? They're like, yo, they literally fed me mermaids, and I 100% believe it." and then this guy, he's like, when he rejected it, he said he went into one of the coolers and saw the mermaids, right? In the cooler. And I believe this. Why? Because remember that story I told you where like the guy in Mexico made a deal with the devil so he could see mermaids, right? Theory going around with the Hollywood celebrities that they're eating mermaids.
All the dolphins and whales are an advanced extraterrestrial race called the Nomos, and they are also from our star system. They are on Sirius C, right? You think the dolphin is an animal. You think the whale is a fucking animal. That's the lie they told you.
Did you all know that it's against the law to try to communicate with dolphins? You can go to jail for trying to talk to a dolphin.
Headquarters, which is X, Sirius X, Xylanthia, because we created the entire universe. But in our immediate star system, because stars don't exist, it's what NASA calls it. Anytime it's a cluster of planets together, they call that a star system. The Nomos were the one who came and talked to Dogon all about the stars and reminded them about the astrological layout. And it was them returning, they gave that information to the Dogon, and the Dogon spread it around the planet.
These dances, these masks, these strange rituals have meaning. They describe precisely the relationship between a remote African tribe and the heavens. This tribe believes all life comes from a distant dark star, invisible to the naked eye. Recently, modern science was able to find this star and confirm its existence. Now we must ask, how did a primitive people lacking instruments of any kind discover a dark star hidden deep in space? A desert tribe called the Dogon, isolated in the African wilderness, may have identified a star invisible to the unaided eye. How is this possible? How could the Dogon possess this sophisticated astronomical information? Many cultures claim their knowledge was given them by godlike beings descended from the heavens. But the Dogons insist their gods descended from one star in particular, which they're able to identify and describe in detail. Does other evidence exist of this encounter between gods and men?
The Nomos were representatives of the order on Earth. These beings were amphibious beings, fish-like creatures, which were eerily mysterious.
For the Nomos, which actually is you as the land guardians, they as the water guardians. mermaids. They evolved from you, right? Because you came from the planets, from a planet in the star constellation system Sirius. So did they, because you were the land guardians and they were the water guardians.
The Nomos, who took on the shape of dolphins and whales after their planet was destroyed in the Sirius star system, we promised to give them a home again. So we gave them the seas. They took on the form of dolphins and whales. These are the Nomos. That's why the government makes it illegal to communicate with dolphins. Definitely, if you got carbon in your skin, it's illegal for you to be in the ocean without the right paperwork in general.
So not only are mermaids
Dude,
real, but the
can you
wealthy
hear it?
are serving them as the main dish at their parties.
If you didn't know, there's certain videos circulating around on TikTok talking about elites eating mermaids.
These are mermaid eating parties.
What you need a celebrity to eat a mermaid?
The origin of mermaids can be traced back to ancient mythology and folklore from various cultures around the world. While the specifics of their origins vary in different traditions, mermaids are generally depicted as mythical creatures with the upper body of a human and the lower body of a fish.
But are mermaids real? Are they good or are they evil? The earliest mermaid tales and depictions date back to as far as 1000 BC. Other goddess, Oans, and even sirens all share the same characteristics as mermaids from different locations and time periods around the world. These myths passed down throughout history play a huge part in why people believe that
Mermaids do in fact exist.
Did you guys know that mermaids exist?
Mermaid being exists since day one. Mermaids always been there.
Not only are mermaids real, but the wealthy are serving them as the main dish at their parties.
Allegedly, a guy came forward talking about mermaid eating parties in Hollywood.
Where they was eating mermaids, bro. And she said her friend had to sign an NDA. He had to leave his phone there, which he said was like typical for Hollywood parties, so he wasn't really thrown by that. He was ushered in, led to the dining room, and he said it was like this really long table, and on the other side of the table was just a wall of windows facing the ocean. There were about 25 people in there. The highest elite or something movie star. He said that she was really popular at the time. He said there was like this one executive producer, there was some government something there, but there were only like 25 people there. It was like platters all on the table, right? You know how they got the little silver platters with the things on top. So he sat down, he saw a couple of them, but then he saw this long platter. Like, he was like, oh, then maybe this is a shark or something. Maybe we can eat something like shark. They lift up the thing.
They served a mermaid. He didn't want to eat it. He went to leave. He found a
tanks all in the room full of mermaids.
Celebrity's appearance, and as you all know, the panel is asked to blindfold itself at this time. Are those blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery guest, we go to a different form of questioning. You answer.
Mario Moreno, also known as Cantinflas, was a very popular Mexican comedian actor who achieved massive success worldwide during his time. At the peak of his career, there were a lot of weird rumors coming out about Cantinflas having an obsession with mermaids.
I remember that story about that one Mexican actor that was obsessed with mermaids.
Let's talk about Cantinflas and the home he built for mermaids.
This Mexican actor, Cantinflas, please excuse me if I didn't pronounce his name right, but he used to have these extravagant parties where mermaids would be the guest of honor.
He was a famous, and he had all the riches, all like the houses, but his one wish was like, oh, I want to see a mermaid.
So he met a witch at a bar, and I guess the witch told him how to get a mermaid to come to his house. They was like, buy this mansion in Acapulco, Mexico.
Carlos also told him to build a statue by the edge of the sea. And he told them that whenever he goes outside at night, around 3 in the morning, he's going to be able to see a mermaid. It is said that supposedly Cantinflas would see mermaids every night. He would stand by the edge with his statue and would be able to see them. There's even stories of him hosting private parties with the mermaids.
Rumor has it he would have these extravagant parties with all kind of A-list celebrities and like high up people, and the mermaids would be the guest of honor.
And then he had all these open water pools that led straight from the ocean into his house,
so that the mermaids could enter and exit whenever they wanted to.
Do y'all believe this?
After his death, due to legal reasons, the mansion had to be abandoned. And many explorers that go into the mansion claim to be hearing voices and laughter coming from around the mansion. There's also rumors that the statue comes to life at night and jumps into the ocean with the mermaids.
Conspiracy theories are a way of dealing with or understanding threats from the world around us. If you have a global threat like the pandemic or climate change, it's constantly causing a lot of worry in your mind. So you want to understand this in order to maybe have control over your life. And that can lead to maybe a preference for certainty over accuracy. So you tend to see the world as like, I need an answer. You find the first answer and you go, yep, that's the one. That's a nice message.
Watch this cartoon. This is crazy.
One Piece, a popular anime known for its corrupt elites and government secrets, has reflected so much of what's going on in the world we live in.
Mermaids are real, and why shouldn't we believe it?
First of all, you have to understand that certain elites, let's just say, aren't like us underneath their, let's just say, costume. There's certain groups on Telegram, especially on the dark web. I'm so serious right now with fishermen that come from certain coastlines. And this can range anywhere from California all the way to Australia. They're literally all over the world. And they'll talk about not only catching them, but post their weight, their size, their length, their colored hair. They deliver them to people that have a shit ton of fucking money. There's actually some hot spots in the United States.
Yeah, for now they're just a bunch of rumors, but at one point these parties were just...
Breaking news now. The indictment against Sean Diddy Combs has just been unsealed. Combs is being charged with racketeering conspiracy, alleging he ran an enterprise that he engaged in sex trafficking, forced labor, or kidnapping, arson, and other crimes.
Jeffrey Epstein's that it was just a rumor.
A U.S. judge has ordered the release of the names of more than 150 people linked to the American financier and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, including victims, associates, and suspected accomplices.
Heck, the government told us for years that aliens didn't exist, and then one day all of a sudden, boom, aliens exist!
UAP are real. Advanced technologies not made by our government or any other government are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe. I believe we're...
What else are they lying to us about? Do you think that they're lying to us about mermaids? I mean, are people, are humans, is that selfish thinking that we are the most advanced being that's on this planet? Could there be stuff that's different from us, but still somewhat human? Did mermaids evolve from us? Oh no.
We're in the midst of a multi-decade secretive arms race, one funded by misallocated taxpayer dollars and hidden from our elected representatives and oversight bodies.
It makes you think, what else are they hiding from us?
You probably have to pause it to read what they're talking about mermaids. What you think so far? It's gonna get crazier. Keep watching.
They talking about rich people is eating mermaids now? I bet you that shit's bland as hell. They ain't seasoning that shit right. You think they put a little Old Bay on that? Out here really tracking down a mythical sea creature just to have that for dinner. The biggest question I got is, what are they using for bait to catch them? Let me know in the comments. Would you try mermaid?
You gonna dip it in butter? I accidentally put this on twice.
Yeah, this is it for us, as the rich are now eating biblical mermaids, and they are starting a war we cannot finish. People were terrified after a fisherman Landon went viral for exposing that he reeled in something that turned his face pale white, describing the creature as biblical, as it was not only 5 feet tall, gray, had gills all over its face, but half human looking, and it's exactly as the biblical verses describe. And it's happening all over Hollywood right now, hiding in plain sight, and their bodies are being stored inside the celebrity mansions. But it gets worse, as Landon describes huge fishing companies that are marketed as finding exotic fish are actually dedicated to hunting this, using sonar equipment to find mermaids, and their human-shaped bodies are being used for dinner. With the Book of Enoch at 19:2 calling mermaids our fallen angels, and modern Hollywood often being referred to as demonic, many have referred to when demons start eating angels, it will be over for all of us very soon. And if we never hear from Landon again, we will all know he was telling the truth.
And he said they was eating it like this is the like mukbang worthy. And he said he left. He was like, nah, I came to jiggy with this. This is weird. So then allegedly she said he left the room and started walking through the hallways of the house trying to find the exit. And he walked inside a pantry that had mermaids swimming in there, bro. Now look, this is what gets me. Y'all remember the story about that one Mexican actor that was obsessed with mermaids? Now this is a known story, especially in Mexico. This happened in Acapulco, Mexico. So he was obsessed with mermaids. Everybody knew he was like this weird obsession with mermaids, right? So he met a witch at a bar, and I guess the witch told him how to get a mermaid to come to his house. That was like, buy this mansion in Acapulco, Mexico. Buy one that's at the edge of the beach, like by the water. So he bought the mansion, and then they were like, and put a statue of yourself at the end of the dock.
Are celebrities and super rich people eating mermaids? Now let's talk about it. Now I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this lady on here talking about how her friend went to this extravagant A-list party and they had mermaids on the menu, like actual mermaids. And that whole situation and story just reminded me of this Mexican actor Cantinflas. Please excuse me if I didn't pronounce his name right. But he used to have these extravagant parties where mermaids would be the guest of honor. He literally built his home for like the mermaids to be able to enter his home. Like this was his house. He had like an open pool where they could just swim up at night. And rumor has it, he would have these extravagant parties with all kinds of A-list celebrities and like high up people. And the mermaids would be the guest of honor. And that also brought me back to where I talked about this specific type of mermaid, which is called a ningyo. And in Japan, these ningyos can bring on a bad omen. If you eat them, it will give you eternal youth. So if you eat it, you literally will live forever. And they say they taste really good. So when she said that, when the lady told her story time about her friend that said that mermaids was on the menu, it makes sense. Because in Japan, it's a legend that if you eat these ningyos, you literally will live forever and ever and be beautiful. And that is your curse, eternal youth. Everyone you know and love will grow up and pass away, and you're still going to be the same age forever and ever. It might sound good, but it's not really good when everybody you know and love pass away. So to me, it is not shocking that these celebrities or high up people are eating these mermaids. And I think we think mermaids as being these beautiful, exotic looking women, but in reality, they really kind of look like these ningyos. But they can, you know, have abilities to shift into other stuff, or, you know, like there's different types of mermaids. So they don't all look like this. But let me know what y'all think in the comments.
He said there was like this one executive, producer, there was some government, something there, but there were only like 25 people there. The amount of people that were there and then the quality of people, he said it really made him like second guess like why he was there, because they were all really out of his league. They all sat down, they all had like this small covered dish in front of them, but then there was this massive silver tray covered with it had 4 handles on it. He said he couldn't figure out like what in the hell could have been it. He's like, okay, shark or something, like what could it have been? He said it was about 5 feet long. The host stands, says, you know, I would like to thank everyone for coming today. lucky to experience such a delicacy, and this is a rarity that very few get to experience, like really like laying it on thick. Then 4 servers step forward, they all grab a handle and lift it up, and he said there's an audible gasp. Then, in detail, he goes on to describe what we would know as a mermaid. He described in pretty graphic detail, but I'm not going to because I don't want the video to get taken down. So he's just looking at it like, what the hell? The entire time he's thinking, okay, this is something that they have made to look like a mermaid. There's no way this is an actual mermaid. But then the servers stepped forward to prepare it, and that's when he realized that it actually was a mermaid.
What y'all say now?
What if I told you people are secretly eating mermaids and this isn't a myth? There are real stories of mermaid eating parties happening to this day. Here's the terrifying truth. Yo, for centuries, sailors and islanders have spoken about
Hey y'all,
mermaids, but
I know we talking about mermaids.
these creatures weren't beautiful.
Dude must have fought a mermaid. Look at his shirt. What happened? Who?
That didn't stop people.
When the mermaids got a hold of.
His records comes from a 17th century Dutch explorer. He claimed his crew captured a mermaid off the coast of Indonesia. They cooked and ate it, but within days, every man on that ship was unalive. Their bodies found covered in strange bite marks as if something had crawled out of the ocean to take revenge. But that's just the beginning, because mermaid eating parties still happen today. In certain remote fishing villages, there are whispers of a secret ritual where if a mermaid-like creature is caught, it must be eaten to appease the sea. One traveler claimed he was invited to a feast where the meat was unlike anything he had ever tasted. Days later, he asked what it was. The host just smiled and said, "You've eaten something that shouldn't exist." That night, he woke up gasping for air like he was drowning in his own bed. The scariest part, there are actual reports from fishermen claiming they've seen mermaid-like corpses washed up on shore, missing chunks of flesh. But if people are really eating mermaids, what happens when they eat back? What do you think, though? Are mermaids even real? And are people actually eating them? Yo, drop a mermaid emoji down in the comments if you think something dark is going on. And don't forget, I go live every day telling stories even scarier than this one. Yo, hit that follow.
What y'all think?
If you didn't know, there's certain videos circulating around on TikTok talking about elites eating mermaids, and I just want to make this very clear, okay? Mermaids do in fact exist. First of all, you have to understand that certain elites, let's just say, aren't like us underneath their, let's just say, costume. But aside from that, if you have the balls and confidence and a team that just so happens to have some soundproof equipment, as dumb as that may sound, you can actually hunt them in some areas of the ocean. The only reason that you don't know about shit like this is because you don't explore areas of the internet outside of just Googling shit, okay? There's certain groups on Telegram, especially on the dark web, and I'm so serious right now, with fishermen that come from certain coastlines, and this can range anywhere from California all the way to Australia. They're literally all over the world. And they'll talk about not only catching them, but post their weight, their size, their length, their colored hair. I mean, there's a lot of shit that goes into this. They even post pictures. They've even posted them on TikTok, but people don't believe that they're real most of the time. And announce out in the open, sometimes announcing that they're actually hunted down by the FBI, CIA, whatever it may be, that they deliver them to people that have a shit ton of fucking money. There's actually some hot spots in the United States. For example, if you go to the very end of Virginia Beach around 3 to 4 a.m., which I still hear stories on a monthly basis of people being taken out to the ocean by them. But regardless, you might see some sketchy ass looking people. Just know that there's a lot of aspects of this reality, including mermaids and cryptids even, that exist, but you just don't know about them. And many of you aren't aware of them simply because your mind isn't open to them actually existing. And you might call me crazy, that's completely fine. There's thousands of other people that know this information as well. I even have
Is he crazy, y'all? Are we crazy? Am I crazy thinking that mermaids are, I believe mermaids are real. Am I crazy? Y'all tell me.
So experiences with cryptids. I even recorded them on camera a couple years ago. The lot that was across from my house, I actually caught what looked to be a Jin, or in quotations, the Hat Man that was following me. I caught the Fae on camera. I have these videos like long down in my TikTok. I'm pretty sure I have a playlist of them. But I mean, even in Colorado, I've had some skinwalker experiences. I've had a Wendigo experience that was the most terrifying fucking day of my entire life. If you go out to look for it, you will end up eventually fucking finding it. I'm just being completely honest with you right now. You can even ask the natives up in Colorado. They will tell you some crazy ass shit. But as for mermaids, I can tell you where to look and what time to do it.
Guys, explain to me why on my For You page this morning and last night I keep seeing something like there are people eating mermaids. Wait, I thought we all agreed that mermaids were things that were made up. Eh? I thought we all agreed that besides mermaid water, there were no really things like mermaids that came from the ocean or stuff like that. So there are a group of people that turn mermaids to delicacy. Now get mind though. You turn mermaid water to mermaid to delicacy. Ha! So there was this guy that said he went to a party, an A-listed party, the 1% of the 1% of the 0.01%. And in that party, he noticed that they were trying to force him to eat mermaids. And when he tried to leave, he saw that there were other mermaids that were in a particular place that were ready to be eaten. What did happen for this world? Mermaids. That's what some people turn to delicacy.
These folk talking about mermaids are real. Now, I'm from South Carolina. We have heard the rumblings from the older folks about seeing mermaids. But that's not even the shocking thing that's going on TikTok. These folk talking about not only are mermaids real, but it's elites that are meeting in a secret place and having mermaid dinners where they're serving mermaids on a platter to super rich people. And there are special fishermen with elite equipment designed to catch mermaids. Y'all, just go on TikTok and type in mermaids, y'all. I can't make this up. They saying they're different colors with silver and cream hair, and they're not as attractive as they look on the Disney movies. Y'all, I'm just giving you the news that y'all can use. Look into it yourself and come back to these comments. What a time to be alive.
They talking about rich people is eating mermaids now? I bet you that shit's bland as hell. They ain't seasoning that shit right. You think they put a little Old Bay on that? Out here really tracking down a mythical sea creature just to have that for dinner. The biggest question I got is, what are they using for bait to catch them? Let me know in the comments. Would you try mermaid? You gonna dip that in some butter? Huh?
So you tell me, are mermaids real? The myth of mermaids spans
This is the last video, Jude. You got about 2 minutes.
including but not limited to China, where their mermaids have dragged entire boats underwater. Japan's mermaids enjoyed cucumbers and wrestling humans underwater until they died. Some mermaids in Brazil have been able to have. Africa tells of mermaids that bring people to their underwater home, grant them enlightenment. This was often related to the Shangu, who would serve as messengers between gods. The Slavic mermaid would watch, wait until they could find an answer to it. They could devote the task as a gift for the fertility goddess. In the Solomon Islands, mermaids would sling flying fish at people. As far back as 5000 BC, the Babylonians believed in the god Ra. Ra was believed to reside in the sea and the creator of human life. But Ra's mentor didn't like humanity. We were too noisy, kept him awake, and had 4 kids like that. So his mentor decided he would just destroy humanity. Ra found out. He said, oh, no, and had an ark built to protect his humanity. In the second millennium, the Mesopotamians would summon Ra to protect them from evil demons and the displeasure of the divine. The Greeks would call Chrono. By the 4th century BC, the Mesopotamians would worship Horus, who was an amphibious being who taught mankind wisdom. In 1000 BC, there was the story of Articus, who had accidentally killed her husband, and out of despair leapt into the sea, but her beauty was such that she could not drown and was transformed into a mermaid. And the Greeks, of course, had Aphrodite, who as an egg had fallen from the sky, and a fish found her and pushed her to shore, where she hatched, and then asked Zeus to please reward the fish for saving her. And he made the constellation of Pisces. And in ancient Egypt, Alexander the Great and his sister he admired so much that on his quest for the fountain he carried a flask of water that could be a reed. was so distraught that she too threw herself into the Caribbean Sea. But she too did not drown. Instead, she was transformed into a mermaid, and now passes judgment on sailors who pass her by. Approximately 5% of our oceans have been discovered, studied. Many say that mermaids are real. Some think that humanoids went into the ocean while others took to land and some became people and others became mermaids. While others say sightings of mermaids are nothing more than drunken sailors who witnessed a man-eating. But their stories transcend time and across the globe. So you tell me,
are mermaids real? Are mermaids real? Are people eating mermaids? I don't know. But there's people out there who believe that they are. And I just found a few videos that, make you think, make you do some research. I'm going to start doing Maas Reacts. So if there's something that you want me to do a deep dive on, let me know. Probably going to do this once or twice a week. Maybe more like once. But, yeah. Are mermaids real? Are people eating mermaids? Kind of crazy. But yeah. It's your boy Maas Appeal. And this has been Maas Reacts. As try to change it up a little bit, do some different things.